En planeta perdido pidió ayuda. Los humanos acabaron con el enemigo. The planet Lyris was quiet, almost too quiet. Its forests were thin, its skies pale, and the cities of the Lyrans, small and fragile, struggled to survive under the shadow of the Zern Collective. The Zyran ships moved through space like predators, dark and sharp, their engines glowing with cold light. The Lyrans had no weapons strong enough to stop them. Each day their homes burned a little more, their people vanished, and hope shrank with every passing hour. In a small control tower on Lyris, a young Lyran named Silo stared at the blinking console. His fingers trembled over the ancient buttons. He had been chosen to send the last call for help, a signal into the endless black. It was not a normal call. It had to reach someone far beyond the borders of the galaxy. If no one answered, Lyris would fall completely. Far away, in Earth's orbit, the human communication station hummed quietly. Ben Carter, a young officer with dark hair and sharp eyes, noticed the strange pattern on his screen. Most signals from deep space were static, meaningless noise. But this one was different. It pulsed in a rhythm, almost like a heartbeat. Ben leaned closer, his heart beating faster. "Captain, you should see this," Ben said. His voice trembled slightly with excitement. He pressed a button and the signal's pattern appeared on the main screen. Lieutenant Carla Mason, the officer in charge of the monitoring station, looked at the strange display. "That's unusual," she said softly. "It's too structured to be random." Ben nodded. "It's a call for help. I think it's real." Carla raised an eyebrow. "Real? From where?" "Most of the deep space signals we get are either noise or automated transmissions from satellites long gone." "You think some alien species is asking for help?" "I do," Ben said. He felt a shiver of both fear and excitement. "And I think we need to respond. I think we need to send someone." Carla considered it for a moment. "The Council will never agree to this. They always say it's too risky." "Alien help calls usually end badly. Ships disappear. Entire crews vanish." "I know," Ben said. "But what if this is different? What if they are real and they are dying?" After a tense moment, Carla nodded. "Okay, let's prepare a report. If anyone can convince the Council, it will be you." Within hours, a small strike team was assembled. The human fleet did not send its largest battleships. They sent a nimble group, fast and efficient, a team that could strike and retreat if necessary. Maya Ellis was chosen to lead. She was young, but her flying skills were legendary. Her small fighter could dodge the largest enemy missiles and return fire with deadly accuracy. Alongside her were Ethan Hall, a weapons specialist who could make even old machines work like new, and Clara Dawson, an engineer who could hack through alien systems as easily as opening a door. They left Earth quietly, without the fanfare that usually accompanied human fleets. There was no announcement of heroism, no banners waving in spaceports. Only the small, silent craft slipped into the void, heading toward the unknown. As the human ships approached Lyris, the planet came into view. From space, it seemed small, fragile, almost forgotten. Thin clouds hovered above pale continents, and tiny flashes of light marked the cities that still clung to life. Around the planet, Zern ships patrolled like sharks. They were vast, angular, and cold. Their dark hulls reflected nothing but empty space. "Looks smaller than I imagined," Maya said quietly, gripping the controls. She could feel the tension in the cabin. Her eyes scanned the enemy ships, and way too quiet. "That's never good." Ethan looked at the holographic map of the Zern fleet. "They have at least 30 warships in orbit, and I can't see all their support vessels. We are walking into a hornet's nest." Clara smiled faintly. "That's why they won't expect us. They think no one would come." "They are wrong. They found a safe orbit around the planet, hidden by asteroid fields and debris." From this vantage point they could see the cities burning. Each flash of fire was a life, a home destroyed, a family gone. On the planet's surface, the Lyrans waited. They were small, delicate beings with pale, almost translucent skin. Their eyes were wide and dark, filled with fear and hope in equal measure. Silo led the small resistance group, moving among the civilians to guide them to safe shelters. He had never seen humans before, but the moment he detected the approaching ships, he felt something different. They did not look like conquerors. Their ships were smaller, faster, and their movements careful, almost gentle. Maya's team made contact with the Lyrans using a universal translator. The first conversation was cautious. The Lyrans spoke in soft tones, explaining their plight. The Zern Collective had attacked suddenly, taking the planet's defenses by surprise. They had no chance to fight back. Their leaders were gone, and their population was dwindling. Ben, listening through the comlink from orbit, felt a deep sense of responsibility. "We can't fail them," he said quietly. The humans began assessing the situation. Ethan examined the Zern ships through long-range scans. Their armor was thick, their weapons deadly. A direct fight would be suicide. Clara worked to hack into the Zern satellites, trying to gather intelligence on their movements. Maya practiced maneuvers in her fighter, preparing to dodge enemy fire if necessary. The Lyrans watched in awe as the humans moved with precision and calm. They had never seen beings so confident in the face of danger. Fear gave way to hope. The humans, despite being small in number, brought a presence that the Lyrans had never felt. At night, the humans and the Lyrans shared stories. Around small fires in hidden caves, Silo and Maya spoke of Earth. Ethan taught a group of young Lyrans how to read maps of the stars. Clara explained how machines could be turned into tools of defense. The Lyrans listened and learned. They saw that humans were not just warriors. They were problem solvers, thinkers, and protectors. Days passed. The humans studied the Zern fleet, looking for weaknesses. They discovered that the massive warships were slow to respond to sudden attacks. They depended heavily on a command ship that coordinated every movement. If the command ship could be destroyed, the entire fleet could fall into chaos. Maya and her team prepared a small strike. They knew it would be dangerous. They also knew that the Lyrans could not fight without them. Ben coordinated from orbit, giving them every piece of information he could. Clara hacked enemy communications to create confusion among the Zern ships. Ethan modified the drones to attack weak points in the enemy armor. The night before the attack, the humans and the Lyrans gathered. The Lyrans brought gifts of their small technology and handmade items, as a gesture of trust. Maya looked at them and promised, "We will protect your world. We will not let them take it from you." Silo felt hope for the first time in months. "We have waited so long for help," he said. "I thought no one cared." Maya smiled gently. "We care. We will fight for you. We are not just coming to watch. We are coming to act." As the human ships moved into position, the Zern fleet remained unaware. Their focus was on the cities below, thinking the planet was already conquered. They did not see the small fighters moving through asteroid fields, the tiny drones preparing to strike, or the humans coordinating with courage and precision from orbit. The humans knew the coming battle would be dangerous. They knew losses were possible, maybe even likely, but they also knew that hope could not be allowed to die. They were humans, and humans never gave up. In the quiet before the storm, Maya looked at the stars. She thought of Earth, of the family she had left behind, and of the countless worlds that might need humans one day. She whispered softly, "We will not fail. Not today." And with that, the first rays of dawn touched Lyris, shining over cities that clung to life. The humans were ready, the Lyrans were watching, and the galaxy had no idea that a small team from Earth was about to change the course of a war. The humans spent the next days observing the Zern fleet carefully. From their hidden orbit, they watched the enemy move like a single organism. Every ship followed orders perfectly, every maneuver precise, yet predictable. Maya, Ethan, and Clara studied the movements tirelessly, looking for any sign of weakness. "It's like they have no imagination," Maya said one night, watching the holographic display of the Zern ships. "They move as if they are machines, not living beings." "We can use that," Ethan nodded. "Yes, they are strong, but they are predictable. We can exploit that. If we attack the right points, we can break their coordination." Clara leaned back in her chair, her fingers dancing across the console. I've hacked into some of their outer sensors. They can see everything near them, but they trust their system too much. If we send false signals, we can make them think something is happening where it isn't. It will confuse them. Maya smiled. That will give us a chance. But it will be risky. We have to move fast and be precise. One mistake and we could lose everything. The Lyrans watched the humans with awe. Silo and his small group of fighters had started to trust the newcomers. They realized that humans were not just brave, they were smart. The humans were teaching them to look at the battle differently. The Lyrans could see that they had hope again, and hope was powerful. Maya decided to send small scouting teams closer to the Zern ships. She took the first mission herself. Her fighter was small, fast, and nearly invisible in the asteroid field surrounding the planet. She moved carefully, keeping her engines quiet, her eyes scanning the massive Zern vessels. "What are you looking for?" Ethan asked as he monitored her progress from orbit. "The command ship," Maya replied. "It controls all the others. If we take it out, the fleet will fall apart." Clara nodded. "I've already started sending false readings to the outer Zern sensors. They should be confused soon. You'll have a small window to get close." Maya's heart raced as she approached the command ship. It was enormous, dark, and imposing. Its surface shimmered with the strange energy that powered its weapons. She could see the smaller Zern fighters buzzing around like insects, guarding the massive vessel. She maneuvered her fighter closer, careful not to trigger their attention. Her hands moved with skill and precision, keeping the ship hidden in the shadows of the asteroids. She sent images back to Ethan and Clara. "Good," Ethan said. "We can see their weak points. The engines have a small gap in the armor, and the weapons control nodes are lightly shielded. If we hit them simultaneously, it could disable the command ship long enough for a bigger attack." Clara worked quickly to modify the drones they had brought. They were small, mechanical, and fast, with enough firepower to punch through the weak points Maya had spotted. "I've programmed them to follow your path and strike exactly where you point," she said. "They will not fail." Maya felt a small surge of confidence. "Good. Let's hope this works." Back on the planet, the Lyrans were helping as much as they could. They knew the terrain better than anyone. They guided human drones through safe paths, avoiding areas where Zern sensors might detect them. They shared maps of hidden valleys and caves that could be used to hide from the enemy if the attack failed. Silo watched the humans prepare and felt something he had not felt in months: hope. It was fragile, but it was there. He watched the humans train, plan, and move with courage and precision, and he realized that perhaps his people could survive after all. The humans studied the enemy patterns for days. They learned that the Zern ships relied heavily on one strategy: overwhelming force. They attacked the cities with large numbers of fighters and massive cannons, expecting resistance to collapse quickly. But humans were not like other species. They did not panic. They did not flee. They calculated, adapted, and struck where it hurt the most. Maya called a meeting with Ethan and Clara. "We have to decide our first move," she said. "We cannot attack all at once. It would be suicide. We need to lure them, confuse them, and strike their command ship at the same time." Ethan frowned. "We could use the asteroid field. They won't maneuver well in it. We can hide the drones there and strike suddenly." Clara nodded.
"I can make it look like the attack is coming from the opposite direction."
"The command ship will move, trying to defend itself, and we can hit the weak points." Maya leaned back. "It's risky, but it's our best chance. If we fail, the planet will fall. If we succeed, we can turn the tide." The humans began training for the attack. Maya practiced tight maneuvers in her fighter, weaving through simulated Zern defenses. Ethan tested every drone, making sure each one could follow the path exactly and strike with precision. Clara continued hacking and creating false readings in the enemy sensors. During this time, the Lyrans watched and learned. They started building small defenses, creating hidden shelters, and moving civilians to safer areas. They learned that even a small chance could make a difference when humans were leading the way. One night, Maya sat in her fighter looking at the stars. "I wonder if they know it's coming," she said softly. "Do they know humans don't give up?"
That we fight no matter what?
Ethan, sitting next to her in the control ship, smiled.
They will learn soon enough. Clara added, we have to be ready.
"The Zern will not expect us to be so clever. They will think we are small and weak. That is our advantage." The humans continued to gather intelligence. They discovered that the Zern ships communicated constantly with each other, sending signals that coordinated every movement. Clara worked to interrupt these signals, sending false messages that caused confusion among the Zern. The enemy did not notice at first. They believed their systems were perfect. Maya and Ethan tested the drones in small, careful attacks. Each drone moved silently, striking at weak points in the enemy armor, then returning to safety. The humans learned how the Zern responded. They adapted. Every mistake the enemy made gave humans more knowledge, more advantage, more hope. The Lyrans began to trust the humans completely. Silo and his people shared every piece of information they could. They showed the humans secret paths through the cities, hidden passages in the forests, and weak points in their own defenses that could be strengthened. Humans listened, learned, and used every bit of knowledge wisely. Finally, after days of preparation, the humans felt ready. They had studied the enemy, tested their drones, and planned every move. Maya called a final meeting with Ethan and Clara. "Tomorrow we attack," she said. "We lure them, we confuse them, and we strike their command ship. If this works, we can save the planet." Ethan checked the drone systems one last time. "Everything is ready."
They won't know what hit them.
Clara nodded.
I've set the false signals.
"They will be in chaos the moment we begin." The Lyrans gathered with the humans that night. For the first time in months, they felt hope. They watched as the humans explained the plan, showing that courage, intelligence, and teamwork could change the outcome of even the most impossible battles. Silo looked at Maya and whispered, "I cannot believe it. Humans, they are different. They are strong, and they are smart."
I think they can save us." Maya smiled.
"We will do more than that. We will protect your world. We will not leave it to the Zern." As the night passed, the humans and the Lyrans rested. They knew the coming day would be dangerous. They knew there could be losses. But they also knew that failure was not an option. Humanity did not give up. Humanity did not surrender. And for the Lyrans, that made all the difference in the galaxy. The first rays of dawn touched the fragile planet, and the human ships moved into position. The Zern fleet remained unaware of the coming attack, confident in their strength and in the ignorance of the tiny planet below. They had no idea that humans, small in number but vast in courage and intelligence, were about to change everything. Maya looked at the fleet through her visor. "Remember," she said quietly to Ethan and Clara, "we are not just fighting ships. We are fighting hope. We cannot fail." And with that, the humans waited for the perfect moment, ready to strike the first blow that could turn the battle around. The galaxy had no idea what was coming. The humans waited silently, hidden in the shadow of the asteroid field. The first rays of light from Lyris reflected off the Zern ships, making them look even larger, more dangerous. Maya gripped the controls of her fighter tightly, her eyes scanning the fleet for the perfect moment to strike. Ethan and Clara monitored every movement from the control ship, their faces calm but focused.
"Okay," Maya whispered. "Now." Clara activated the first set of false signals.
Boo. On the holographic display, the Zern ships began reacting to phantom threats. They changed formation, sending fighters to intercept attacks that did not exist. The command ship adjusted its position, trying to protect invisible targets. "They're reacting," Ethan said. "It's working. They don't know what's real."
Maya moved her fighter closer to the command ship. The asteroid field gave her cover, but one wrong move could mean instant destruction.
Her hands flew over the controls, weaving the fighter between massive rocks past the enemy patrols. Every second felt like a minute, every heartbeat like a drum in her chest. Below on Lyris, the Lyrans watched through binoculars and small telescopes. They had never seen such bravery. The humans were small, fragile in appearance, yet they moved with a confidence that filled the Lyrans with awe. Silo whispered to his people, "Watch closely. This is how courage looks." Ethan launched the first wave of drones. Tiny machines, fast and precise, they darted from hiding spots in the asteroid field and moved toward the Zern command ship. Each drone targeted weak points Maya had mapped earlier. They struck the shields and engines with careful timing, creating small but critical damage. "Good, good," Ethan said, his eyes glued to the display.
"Keep them coming! Hit the engines again!"
Clara smiled as she manipulated the enemy sensors. "They're confused. The command ship can't see the drones properly. They're reacting to ghosts." The Zern fleet, despite its size, began to falter. Fighters scattered, some moving to defend phantom threats. The command ship wavered, unsure where the attack was coming from. Maya used this moment to make her move. She flew directly toward the command ship's weak point, a narrow gap in the armor that her team had studied for days. "Hold steady," Ethan instructed. "The drones are synchronized with you. Wait for the signal." Maya nodded. Her hands were steady, her mind focused. She could see the control nodes on the command ship glowing faintly. If she hit them with the drones at the same time, the ship could be disabled long enough for the main attack. The moment came. Clara sent the final false signal. The command ship twisted in the void, trying to respond to multiple threats at once. Maya released the drones. They zipped forward like tiny sparks of light, striking the weak points with perfect timing. Explosions erupted along the hull of the command ship. Fire spread across its surface as the engines faltered. The massive vessel lurched, unable to maintain formation. The smaller Zern ships were thrown into confusion. "Yes!" Ethan shouted. "It's working!" From orbit, Ben watched with a mix of fear and excitement. "Keep them safe," he whispered. This is only the beginning. Maya pulled her fighter back, narrowly avoiding debris from the damaged command ship. The Zern fleet scrambled to regroup, but it was too late. Their coordination had been broken. They moved like a wounded animal, unpredictable and slow. The humans took advantage immediately. Smaller squadrons led by Maya struck at the scattered Zern ships. Each maneuver was precise. Drones disabled weapon systems while human fighters targeted critical points. Even though they were outnumbered, the humans used strategy, speed, and cleverness to dominate the battlefield. Below, the Lyrans cheered quietly. For the first time in months, they saw hope. Their world could survive. Their people could live. Silo's eyes shone with tears. "They are doing it," he said softly. "The humans. They are saving us."
The battle continued for hours.
Maya and her team worked tirelessly, moving through the Zern ships, striking where the enemy least expected. Ethan coordinated drones with surgical precision. Clara kept the enemy sensors filled with false information, ensuring confusion. Each Zeren ship that fell only strengthened the humans' confidence. At one point, a Zern fighter managed to get close to Maya's fighter. Its energy cannon fired a brilliant beam slicing through the void. Maya twisted the controls, narrowly avoiding the blast. Her fighter shuddered, but it held together. She fired back, targeting the weak armor on the enemy craft. With a precise shot, the Zern fighter exploded, drifting silently into space. "Nice shot," Ethan said, trying to keep his voice steady despite the tension. "Thanks," Maya replied. She didn't allow herself to feel fear. There was no time for that. Every second mattered. Every decision could save lives. The humans noticed a smaller group of Zern ships trying to retreat. Maya signaled to the drones. They followed, cutting off escape routes and forcing the Zern ships back into the fray. The battle was turning in favor of the humans, not because of their numbers, but because of their courage, intelligence, and unyielding determination. As the battle raged on, the Lyrans joined in small ways. They sent signals from the planet's surface, guiding drones and alerting humans to weak points in the Zern fleet. Their help was small but critical. showing that even a weak species could make a difference when inspired by hope and leadership. Maya's fighter weaved through the chaos, striking one Zern vessel after another. She moved with the precision of a dancer, dodging beams, releasing drones, and hitting weak points with exact timing. Each success sent waves of hope through the humans and the Lyrans alike. Hours passed. The Zern fleet, once confident and powerful, was now scattered and weak. Their command ship had been reduced to floating debris, their fighters disorganized. The humans pressed forward, striking again and again, refusing to give the enemy a moment to recover. Clara monitored the remaining Zern communications. "They're trying to regroup," she said. "But they don't know where to go. They are leaderless."
"We can finish this."
Ethan checked the drone systems. "Ready when you are. We can disable the rest of their ships." Maya nodded. "Let's end this." The final assault was swift and brutal. Drones moved like swarms of lightning, hitting weapon systems and engines. Human fighters darted between enemy ships, striking weak points and avoiding fire. The Lyrans guided them from below, showing safe paths and hidden dangers. One by one, the Zern ships fell. Explosions lit the void, sending fragments spinning into space. The humans did not hesitate. They moved with precision, strategy, and courage. Even when outnumbered, they fought as one, unstoppable in their determination to protect the planet below. At last, only a few Zern ships remained. They attempted to flee, but the humans cut off every escape route. Maya fired a final barrage of drones at the remaining vessels. The energy cannons overloaded, and the ships broke apart in brilliant flashes of light. The battlefield fell silent. The Zern fleet was gone. The humans floated in the void, exhausted but victorious. Maya exhaled deeply, her hands trembling slightly as she relaxed the controls. Ethan and Clara shared a look of relief and triumph. Below, the Lyrans cheered. Their planet was safe, at least for now. Fire still burned in some cities, but hope had returned. For the first time in months, they could believe that life would continue. Silo watched the humans and felt a deep, overwhelming gratitude. "They did it," he whispered. "They actually did it. Humans, they saved us." Maya's fighter slowly returned to orbit above the planet. She looked at the Lyrans below and smiled. "This is just the beginning," she said softly. "We have saved today, but tomorrow we will make sure they never come back." Ethan leaned back, exhausted. "I never thought we could do this. But humans never give up." Clara nodded. "That's why we win. Not because we are the strongest, but because we are smart, brave, and determined. That is more powerful than any weapon." Ben watched from the control station on orbit, feeling pride and relief.
"We came to help," he said quietly, "and we did."
Lyris will live because we chose to act when others would have hesitated. The humans in Lyran celebrated quietly. There were no grand speeches, no parades. Only gratitude, relief, and a shared understanding that courage, intelligence, and hope had saved the day. Maya looked out at the stars. "We did what we had to do," she said, "and the galaxy saw it. Any species that underestimates humans will learn their mistake." And in the quiet void of space, with the stars shining brightly and the planet below safe, the humans prepared for the next step. Lyris had survived, and humanity had proven once again that courage, determination, and cleverness could defeat even the greatest enemy. The battle was over, but the humans did not stop. The Zern ships that had survived the initial attack were scattered and confused, but they still posed a danger. Maya, Ethan, and Clara regrouped their forces, ready for the final push. They knew that the Zern could return at any moment if left unchecked. Maya's fighter moved through the void like a shadow, fast and silent. "We have to finish this," she said, her voice calm but firm. "We cannot leave a chance for them to strike again." Ethan nodded. "The drones are ready. We can disable the remaining ships quickly. They won't know what hit them." Clara added, "And I can continue feeding false signals. They will fight ghosts again, just like before." The Lyrans watched from below. They had begun repairing parts of their cities and moving their people to safer areas, but their attention remained on the humans. Every move, every maneuver showed skill and courage that the Lyrans had never seen. Silo whispered to his people, "They are not just fighters, they are protectors. Look at how they move. Look at how they think. This is why humans survive, why humans win." The humans divided their forces into small squads. Maya led the main squad, moving directly toward the largest remaining Zern ships. Ethan coordinated the drone attacks from orbit, while Clara continued manipulating enemy sensors. The plan was simple but dangerous. Disable the remaining ships and force the Zern to retreat permanently. Maya Spider dove into the first group of enemy ships. Her movements were precise, weaving through enemy fire while releasing drones to strike at critical points. The Zion were caught off guard. Their formation was broken, their weapon systems failing one by one. One of the Zern ships fired a massive energy beam at Maya. She twisted her fighter, narrowly avoiding the blast. The beam passed through space, hitting a nearby asteroid and sending chunks spinning into the void. She fired back at the ship's engine core, hitting the weak spot Ethan had identified. The ship shuddered, sparks flying from its damaged hull, and then it drifted helplessly. "Nice work," Ethan said, monitoring the attack. "Keep moving. The rest are falling apart." Clara smiled. "They are following the ghosts again. They don't know where to focus. We can finish them now." The humans had done what no other species could. They had defeated a much larger, more powerful enemy through courage, intelligence, and determination. Ethan leaned back, exhausted but smiling. "We did it. The planet is safe." Clara nodded. "And we did it without losing anyone. Humans are clever, brave, and persistent. That is more powerful than anything else." Maya looked at the Lyrans below. "We did this together. You helped us. We protected your world, but your courage helped too. Never forget that." Silo stepped forward, tears in his eyes. "We will never forget. Humans, you are different. You do not give up, you do not fear, and you do not abandon those in need. You are what legends are made of." Ben, watching from orbit, felt pride and relief. "We came to help," he said softly. "And we did. We showed that humanity does not just survive, it fights for others, even when the odds are impossible." The humans helped the Lyrans repair their cities and rebuild their defenses. Even though the Ziran threat was gone, Maya and her team taught them strategies, small defenses, and ways to protect themselves. They shared knowledge of the stars, engineering, and tactics, showing the Lyrans that survival required both courage and wisdom. Days passed. The Lyrans began to thrive again. Crops were replanted, buildings repaired, and families reunited. They learned from the humans, adopting some of their techniques and strategies. Hope returned fully to their hearts, and they no longer felt so fragile. Maya, Ethan, Clara, and Ben prepared to leave. Their mission was complete. Lyris was safe, and the siren had been driven away. The humans had shown what their species could do when united, determined, and brave. Before leaving, Maya spoke to Silo and the Lyrans. "Remember what you have seen. Protect your world, help each other, and never forget that courage can change the impossible. Humans came here to help because it was the right thing to do. You can do the same in the future." Silo nodded. "We will. Your actions will be remembered forever. You have changed our lives and our world. We owe everything to you." As the human ships departed, the Lyrans watched in silence. They knew that the galaxy was full of dangers, but they had learned something vital. Even the smallest, weakest species could survive when courage and cleverness were on their side. And they had learned that humans were a force to be reckoned with, a species that could protect the weak and defeat even the most powerful enemies. Maya looked back at Lyris through her fighter's viewport. "We have done well," she said softly. "We saved a world, inspired hope, and reminded the galaxy that humans never give up." Ethan added, "And we've shown that even when outnumbered, strategy and courage can overcome any odds. That's humanity." Clara smiled. "We leave them stronger, wiser, and more hopeful. That is what matters most. As the stars passed by, the humans set a course for home. Lyris was safe, the Zern were defeated, and humanity had once again proven that courage, intelligence, and determination could shape the destiny of the galaxy. In the quiet of space, the humans knew this mission would not be the last. The galaxy was vast, full of dangers and unknown worlds. But one thing was certain: wherever humans went, hope followed, courage led, and the impossible became possible. Maya, Ethan, Clara, and Ben sat in their ships, tired but satisfied. They had faced overwhelming odds, outsmarted a powerful enemy, and protected a fragile world. They had shown what humans could do when they refused to surrender, and as the human fleet disappeared into the distance, the Lyrans below looked up at the sky, their hearts full of gratitude. They would tell stories of this day for generations, of the humans who came when all seemed lost, of the small fighters who moved like shadows among the stars, and of the courage that saved a planet. The galaxy had witnessed humanity in action, a species small in number but vast in courage, intelligence, and determination. A species that never gave up. A species that had changed the fate of a planet and left a lasting mark on the universe. And for the humans, this was not just victory. It was proof of who they were, protectors of the weak, challengers of the impossible, and the force that no enemy could ever fully defeat. The story of Lyris would live forever, not as a tale of despair, but as a tale of hope, courage, and humanity. And in the stars, somewhere, humans would continue to move forward, ready to face whatever challenges the galaxy held next. The humans pressed forward, each squad targeted one Zern ship at a time. Drones struck at engines and weapon systems, while human fighters hit weak armor points. The Zyrn ships tried to respond, but without their command ship, they were disorganized and slow. Every attack by the humans was calculated, efficient, and deadly. Below, the Lyrans joined in small ways. They sent signals from hidden locations, guiding the drones through the safest paths and alerting humans to enemy movements. Their help was small but critical. Even a weak species could make a difference when inspired by hope and leadership. As the humans closed in, some Zern ships attempted to flee. Maya anticipated their movement. She signaled the drones, which cut off escape routes, forcing the ships back into the fray. The Zern pilots realized too late that they could not escape. Every angle was covered, every path blocked. Maya's fighter struck the remaining ships with precision. She released the last wave of drones, which hit engines, shields, and weapons simultaneously. Explosions lit the void like fireworks. One by one, the Zern ships fell, powerless to fight against the humans' coordinated attack. Ethan monitored the battlefield with satisfaction. They are finished. Every ship is disabled or destroyed. They cannot regroup. Clara added, and the false signals are still confusing the remaining units. They won't know what to do next. This is it, the Lyrans cheered quietly. Their planet was safe. Fire still burned in some cities, but the humans had given them hope, and hope was stronger than any weapon. Silo looked at the humans and whispered, "They have saved us. They are not just warriors. They are heroes." Maya guided her fighter to orbit above the planet, scanning for any remaining threats. Everything was calm. The Zyrn fleet was gone.